And how's it going, everyone? It is Skullzi here with the latest and the greatest gaming news. The news that I'm going to be talking about today is very exciting because I just discovered a brand new unannounced next-gen game that's currently in development right now. And this is more than just a new next-gen game. It's actually the return of a much beloved franchise, something that took the gaming industry by storm and kind of became a phenomenon for a while and then disappeared randomly after it kind of fizzled out. But it seems like this is actually going to make a big return on next gen, and what I'm talking about is Guitar Hero, Rock Band, games like that. Personally, I loved Rock Band. I spent many hours with family and friends playing this game. It was just very unique and just fun having your own rock band with your friends, leveling up your band, getting new gigs, playing familiar songs that you liked. It was just a good time. It was very interactive, something that wasn't too common in the gaming industry at its time, and it seems like Ubisoft, of all companies, are gonna try to take their own approach to this game franchise. Maybe they somehow acquired the rights to Guitar Hero or Rock Band and we just haven't found out yet, or maybe they're gonna do their own thing, but they filed a new patent that is very exciting, and as always, we're gonna be going through this information together because I'm gonna be recording my screen. That way you can see that my bullshit capacity meter is always running at 0%, and that way you can look this information up to verify it for yourself if you choose to. And we're gonna start our adventure right here, and what this is all of the active, pending, and current trademarks and patents filed by Ubisoft. You can see that there's a new game here, Overdrive City, which Ubisoft hasn't talked about yet. It's a new game. I didn't really do a video on this because we have no idea what Overdrive City is, but I did tweet about it, so there's a new game called Overdrive City that Ubisoft is making, maybe some kind of racing game, who knows, but what we're going to be talking about in today's video is number 11, right here, Instrument and Game Method. This is a very new patent. It's actually been in the works for a while now, but it was only set to actually be active as of July 11th, 2019. And the summary is as follows. A game instrument and method that uses an instrument as an input encourages a player to play along with the game's soundtrack on an instrument like a guitar, a bass, etc. The game cues the player to play notes and or chords on the instrument at an appropriate time, and then data is collected from the instrument via a connection between the instrument and the apparatus running the game. The game then scores the user based on note, chord, and timing information it receives. So essentially that's just describing Rock Band and Guitar Hero. I mean, that's exactly what whatever this game is, and it has been filed very recently here in 2019. So with next gen right around the corner, with the PS5 and the Xbox whatever supposedly coming out next year, I'd say now is a good time more than ever for these companies to start filing patents and trademarks for their new next gen gaming technology, for their new next gen games that are going to be launch titles for these consoles. And I expect whatever this is, this new Rock Band game, to be a launch title for the PS5 and the Xbox whatever. I'm actually very interested to see Ubisoft's take on a Rock Band game, because a good game like this is more than just playing the instrument and listening to the music. It's about leveling up your band, getting new gigs, unlocking perks. Basically, it's like Rock Band RPG, more or less. And Ubisoft is very good at world building, and they've been dabbling in RPG dynamics in Assassin's Creed and have been doing a decent job with it recently. So if they kind of make a Rock Band next-gen RPG game, I would be hyped. I got a little bit burnt out on the Guitar Hero and Rock Band phase. I think a lot of people did, and that's one of the main reasons a lot of these companies stepped away from making these games, because they had like Guitar Hero everything. Guitar Hero Beatles, Guitar Hero Metallica, Guitar Hero guy sitting on a porch in the American South with a banjo. They had just so many different versions of these games that people were at this point just like, okay, I think we're over it now. I think we're over just this whole dynamic. But I think now it's a good time to bring it back, especially with next gen technology. And I just know, talking to like my friends in real life outside of computer land, we actually talked about this recently, about how we miss Rock Band, how it was a good time to just hang out, have some fun, play some music, level up your band. Very unique kind of experience. And then all of a sudden I find this trademark, this patent. It's like everything is aligning. The stars are aligning and our fate has been decided. But let's take a closer look at this patent actually. there's not too much more additional information in this. I mean, there is, but you'd have to read a ton of stuff, and pretty much the summary up here paraphrases everything for you anyway, which is what I already read to you earlier. So if you want to take the time to read through this, you can, but I assure you all this is just kind of the step-by-step process that they took to develop this patent, everything that they would like to do with this patent, which is just more or less playing an instrument and having it being scored on how well you did, basically Guitar Hero or Rock Band stuff. And then down here is just all of the different patents or technology that this new patent for this new game kind of use or is based loosely off of. You see gigantic lists like this in other patents. This isn't anything abnormal, but what I know everyone wants to see are the pictures, because who doesn't want to see pictures? Pictures are very good at describing things. So let's look at the pictures. This one right here is kind of obvious. It shows what looks like Rock Band or Guitar Hero. I mean, you even have right here your little counter, your multiplier here, which if you haven't played the games, if you don't miss a note in a certain amount of time, you get double score, triple score, quadruple score, up to I think like 8 times or something crazy. And then there's like other interesting stuff on screen too. I don't know exactly what this is. These are obviously your notes, your chords. And then there's the dude on the stage doing the stuff. And then it looks like star power even up there, like a star power meter, which is something from Guitar Hero and Rock Band as well. So Ubisoft is very clearly trying to continue and piggyback off that dynamic and do their own version of this phase. I wonder if there's going to be any trademark disputes between Ubisoft and other companies about this patent. There actually, I think, will be. I discovered some unique evidence that I think might predict something like this happening, but we'll get to that in a second. Let's look at more of these pictures. A lot of these pictures are actually like programming things, just showing you the different inputs and how the information travels from one device to another. You can see here is like a sideways version of that same screen we looked at earlier. This time it's sideways. All this stuff is sideways. That's the same screen we looked at earlier, but sideways again. A lot of these patents have their images sideways for some reason, but you can see that most of these are just nothing too interesting, really. One thing that does interesting me about this picture, though, is it shows the guy. Actually, wow, the picture sucks when I try to zoom in. It like doesn't load it anymore. But you can see here, it shows what looks like fingers on an actual guitar. And I don't know if you guys remember the game Rocksmith, but Ubisoft actually published that game too. What Rocksmith was a game where you actually played a real guitar, and the game would teach you how to play guitar while you played, and it sounds like a cool idea, but it didn't really take off that well because playing the guitar isn't easy, especially when you first start trying to play the guitar, and I'm sure it turned a lot of people away when they just kind of sucked at it. They'd rather hit the colorful buttons that matches with the lights on screen. It's easier for everyone to just do that, more fun than actually trying to force yourself to play the guitar, for some people at least. And I hope that this image here isn't an indication that Rocksmith will be making a return. I'd rather them do something like Rock Band or Guitar Hero, but only time will tell. The rest of these images actually show what looks like a real guitar with real guitar chords, which makes me more nervous as I look through these images that this game may be kind of like Rocksmith. I'd rather it be like Rock Band, but with how Rocksmith didn't actually sell that well, I'm assuming that this will maybe be like a hybrid version of both Rock Band and Rocksmith. Maybe it'll be like a more realistic version of Rock Band, but most of these images now aren't too interesting. You can see here is like a difficulty selection screen, which leads me to believe that maybe if you make the game easier, like you play on at the beginner difficulty, the game will play more like Rock Band, where there's just simple buttons to like a color combination. You don't actually have to know chords or tabs or actually how to play notes or anything like that. But then if you play an expert, you're pretty much going to be playing the actual guitar, I would guess. I don't know how I feel about that. I actually know how to play the guitar, and I still kind of would prefer it to go along the older school versions of Rock Band and Guitar Hero, with the blue, the yellow, the red, and the green, I think it was. Just 4 simple buttons to make the game more fun, and if you want to be challenging, then they just add more chords, more actual notes that you actually have to hit with those buttons in the song. It actually matches up pretty well. It makes you feel like you're kind of playing the guitar, but you're not. But the thing is, playing the guitar is really, really hard, like, especially when you get into metal music where you have to do like a bunch of solo riffs and crap like that. It's not easy. Some people can't even do it if you don't have very, very good hand-eye coordination, because you have to hit all these very small areas on the neck of this guitar with very perfect accuracy, otherwise it'll sound like crap. And if Ubisoft is trying to like push a very realistic hyper simulation rock band guitar playing game into the gaming community again, I don't think it'll do well. I think it'll have the same response it had before. Sounds like a great idea, right? Until you actually pick up a guitar for the first time ever in your life, thinking you're gonna be rock hero dude, and then you just realize you can't even play Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. You're not gonna want to spend the first 4 or 5 months buying this new game, sucking at it completely, because it takes you a lot longer to learn how to play the guitar well than it does to learn how to play a rock band or Guitar Hero guitar well. And then, like I said earlier, there is actually a patent filed by Gibson for something very similar, a system and method for generating and controlling a simulated musical concert experience. So I'm wondering if Gibson is going to file a trademark dispute against Ubisoft's new patent, which it's kind of weird that Ubisoft has this patent is kind of new, because they had this Rocksmith game before, I think in 2014 or something, which is like 5 years ago. So the fact that this is a new patent and not just a refiling of that old one leads me to believe that they kind of refined that technology a little bit more to make it more user-friendly and less guitar simulation. That's why I have the feeling that Ubisoft is going to be doing a game more like Guitar Hero or Rock Band as per se Rocksmith 2. I think they're going to abandon the Rocksmith idea, and they're just going to like maybe implement a more realistic guitar playing experience into the harder difficulties of whatever this game is going to be. You can see that this actual patent became active as of September 13th, which is today. The patent actually was activated today, but it's been in the works ever since 2014. That's back when the whole Rocksmith thing happened. It looks like they revised this technology in 2015 and kept working with it until 2019, until they filed a new application for this patent with all the changes they made into this technology, making it active as of today, September 13th, 2019, which is about a year before the supposed expected launch of next-gen gaming consoles, that PS5 and that Xbox whatever, which lines up perfectly with how companies would file trademarks for future upcoming next-gen launch title games. But with all this in mind, what I want to know is, what do you have to say about all of this? Would you rather prefer a Rock Band Guitar Hero experience over like a Guitar Hero simulation game like Rocksmith was? Are you excited for the return of these types of games for Rock Band and Guitar Hero? Let me know down in the comments below, and if your comment wins the internet and make it featured in a future video. Be sure to like this video if you enjoy the content, subscribe and turn notifications on if you want to stay in the know about the latest and the greatest gaming news. Follow me over on Twitter for the latest channel updates and random stuff about me. Come over to the community Discord chat server where there is always an awesome and active conversation and some speculation taking place. Come over to Loot Drop, the official Skullzi merchandise site, where you can get a bullshit capacity meter t-shirt or even a coffee mug to let everyone know that your bullshit capacity meter is always running at 0%. And if you want to have your hand in providing feature content and getting access to unique and awesome awards, then consider subscribing to the community on Patreon or joining the channel here on YouTube as an exclusive channel member. Links for all of these things are down in the description below, and as always, thank you for watching. Be sure to tune in next time when both stuff and things occur.
just works.